What's up everyone, Rakim here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for being here guys, and I'm so grateful to all of you who were able to subscribe to my channel, laging nanonood ng mga videos ko, and I'm so glad to meet a lot of Filipinos who were able to watch my video and told me that it helped them, inspired them to pursue their career and pursue their dreams to be a teacher here in the US. So may nakilala ako nung umuwi ako, and then may dumating din sa lugar namin dalawang Pinoy who told me na nakapanood din sila ng video ko while they were preparing for CFO and visa interview. So it just makes me so happy na through the videos that I uploaded, nagkaroon sila ng idea at na medyo nakatulong din ako sa kanila na ma-pursue nila yung dream at makarating sila dito. So thank you guys. And then I have these messages na nagsasabi sila na silent viewer sila but nagpapasalamat sila na nagkaroon sila ng idea dahil sa mga videos na in-upload ko. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Minsan lang talaga tinatamad ako mag-reply sa social media kasi busy rin ako sa work, and then minsan na lang din ako mag-upload ng videos kasi wala lang, kailangan kasi ng good lighting, kailangan din yung you're mentally okay, you're ready to film kasi hindi naman palaging nasa mood ka mag-film, di ba? Then, what we'll be talking about today is the strategies and ways on how to teach here in the USA. Because we had a question from one of our subscribers kung ano ba yung teaching strategies na ginagawa dito sa Amerika. Okay, so first, let me say na they have their state standards na fina-follow when you make your lesson plans. The state standards tells you on what you should teach to the students. It's K to 12, kindergarten to 12 na mga strategies na pwede mong gamitin to incorporate and makuha mo yung outcome from the students. Ano ba yung mga activities na pwede mong gamitin para ma-fit into the state standards. So I'm from Arizona, so we use the AZ standards for teaching. Now, for your lesson planning, it depends on the principal kung lagi silang mag-check. Actually, most of the principals don't check. They just randomly check sometimes. Ang iba naman hindi. They fully trust their teachers to prepare their lesson plans ahead para maging maging smooth yung nila. I think it's really important for us teachers to be prepared like 2 weeks or a week before the class para alam mo rin kung ano yung pwedeng activities or may mga ideas ka rin na pwede mo madagdag, di ba? At tayong mga Pinoy, kitang mga Pinoy, alam na natin yung paano mag lesson planning. Actually, mas magaling tayo mag lesson plan at mas kompleto yung curriculum natin. Di ba tayo from motivation pa lang, the video or the activity that we're doing should be connected sa lahat sa topic ng araw na yon. From motivation, if that's your specific topic, kung music ba yan or video ba yan, dapat connected siya sa topic mo. Ganyan tayo gumawa ng lesson plan, which is really good, at magagamit mo yung strategy na yan dito sa pagtuturo sa Amerika. So sa strategies in teaching na natutunan ko naman dito, this is on my own experience from my previous school, from my previous admin at ngayon, is we always have let's start muna. Actually dito kasi mas importante yung yung behavior kesa sa curriculum or sa, let's say, content. Mas okay na mas maging ready ka sa behavior planning mo in class compared sa curriculum mo at sa content ng iyong subject. Kasi mas okay nga na dalhin mo yung ibang curriculum at books mo dito kasi wala silang curriculum. Sa experience ko, wala silang curriculum. So, gagawin mo na lang is, gagamitin mo yung resources mo. Actually, may DepEd login yung ate ko na ginagamit ko to log in and then download some modules na pwede kong gamitin. Kasi, mas okay siya. Actually, mas ewan ko, mas okay yung ginagawa natin. It really fits. And yung from motivation to, let's say, evaluation by or assessment, kompleto yan pag tayo ang gumagawa. Dito naman is mas tayo mas ewan ko, hindi ko ma-explain, mas matalino yung estudyante natin. Ewan ko kung nagturo ka ng Amerika, pero that's what I think. Mas matalino yung mga bata natin. So, pag nandito ka na, dapat ka mag-adjust kasi dapat sa strategy mo is kailangan mong makuha yung kiliti nila para may interest sila na matutunan yung subject mo. Like mga surprise, may itatago ka tapos papasurprise mo na, ano ba to? Connected ba to sa natin? Topic ngayon. So, dapat may mga elements of surprise ka para interesado talaga sila makinig. And I think it's really important for a school to have a policy in no gadgets talaga. Kasi yung cellphone ang isa sa number 1 na balakid sa pagtuturo dito, lalo na sa middle school. Yung school ko naman is really strict on gadgets, so mas maganda yung experience ko ngayon kaysa sa last year. Lagi lang sa cellphone yung mga bata, tapos yung hindi klaro yung namin, yung rules sa gadgets. So nahirapan ako. Ngayon, yung school ko wala talaga, no cellphone, so they can focus. So sa strategies mo is ganito. You have the bell work. The bell work is the one you use for the first, let's say, 3 to 5 minutes. Ituturo mo yan, let's say sa 2 weeks mo, first 2 weeks mo, ituturo mo yan. Bell work is what they do when they enter the classroom. It's like an activity, the topic of that lesson, or a review of the previous lesson. So, kailangan alam nila saang part ng room yan kukunin. Kahit, let's say, worksheet, dapat nandito sa gilid ng door. So, kukunin nila yan. And then, a-answer sila. That is one of the strategies that helps you with classroom management. Kasi, pagdating pa lang nila, alam nila yung gagawin. Wala silang time magchika-chika, wala silang time pabuyag, magulo, kasi alam nila pagpasok nila saan kukunin yung worksheet. Tapos dapat alam rin nila kung saan nila ipapasa. 'Di ba sa atin sa Pilipinas, pass it in front or pass it on your side. Dito kailangan talagang yun, bell work. So mag-answer sila ng 3 to 5 minutes, let's say, tapos alam din nila saan yun ipapasa. May isang corner ka sa classroom kung saan nila ipapasa yung worksheet na yun. So that's one of the best practices in classroom management, yung bell work. So dapat alam rin nila saan kukuha ng lapis, kasi ang mga estudyante dito wala silang dala. Actually, the school is providing everything from colored materials, writing materials, lahat-lahat na school ang nagpo-provide, pati pagkain. So may mga bata rin na laging gutom. So pwede kang sa admin mo na pwede ka bang mag-stock ng food, kasi may mga bata talaga na wala sa focus kasi gutom sila. Hindi katulad sa atin na pinapabaunan tayo ng marami. Dito konti lang estudyante na busog at may baon. So, nakakawala ng focus yan sa kanila. So, dapat may stock ka rin na food. And then, yung classroom routines mo talaga should be practiced 2 weeks to 1 month. So, isa yun sa practices, yung bell work. We call it bell work. 3 to 5 minutes of the class. And then, we also have this strategy na bell to bell, which means, after nung napasa na nila yung papel sa bell work, ano yung mangyayari after? So let's say may PowerPoint presentation ka for next 3 minutes, then may konting discussion ka or let's say a video presentation, dapat alam na nila yun kasi it helps you with behavior para hindi sila mag-away, hindi sila magchika, para silang talaga, structured. So, yan din yung natutunan ko from my previous admin. So yun na, first 3 minutes. Kasi most of the classes here, 50 minutes lang. So yun na, after bell work, video presentation on 3 minutes. Tapos after that, may worksheet ka, let's say, or another activity for another 10 minutes. Then after that, another 10 minutes or another 5 minutes of activity. So that's what we call bell to bell, no? Kailangan may timer ka na kailangan nila yung matapos, or pwede kang mag-extend kung hindi pa sila tapos. That helps you with classroom management kasi hindi sila pwedeng maubusan ng activity. Kapag naubusan sila ng activity o parang hanging na yung pinapagawa mo sa kanila, doon na nangyayari yung nagkakaproblema na kasi maingay na, or baka magulo na, baka may mag-away ng mga estudyante. So yun talaga yung kailangan mong i-practice sa first month ng klase. First 2 weeks, let's say, pwede din. And then, yung sa classroom management at behavior din, okay lang na ma-disrupt yung klase kapag we're talking about behavior. Kailangan mo talaga silang tadadad, ganun talaga. Yun yung mahirap sa ating Pilipino kasi naglo-loading pa yung English natin. So, pag may nakita kang behavior, we're not doing that in a classroom. Keep your hands to yourself. What are your expectations? Ganun. Isa din yan. First week of class, after getting to know each other, you have to have that respect agreements na ipopost mo sa classroom. So, ipopost mo yan dun, and then pag may behavior problem, sabihin mo, what did we talk about during the first week of the class? Here, right? Number 1, number 2. So, lagi, it's a reminder for them na may agreement kayo together. Hindi lang puro rules mo, but they also contributed to that respect agreement. And what I did for my class is thumbprint nila sa posted na respect agreements, may thumbprint nila. So, para bang pirma na nag-agree kayo na ito yung expectation at respect agreements na kailangan nating i-follow, like no bullying, treat each other with kindness, treat others how you want to be treated. So, ganun. In the first week of the class, kailangan mo rin yung gawin. So, respect agreements, bell work, then bell-to-bell activities. It really helps you with classroom management talaga. And then, hindi pa, kasi yung una, parang masyado pa akong soft kasi 'di ba parang ayaw natin ipahiya yung bata, but you really have to be firm. Sasabihin mo talaga na, no, we're not doing that. 'Di ba? Pwede namang, we're not doing here that, guys. 'Di ba? Hindi pwede yun. Dapat talaga yung boses mo. Isa yun sa factor na makakatulong sa'yo sa classroom management. We're not doing that here. Keep your hands to yourself. What did we talk about during the first week of the class? We have the behavior, we have the respect agreements in our wall. Are you doing the expectations or no? Tapos, yun, ganun talaga. Tapos sa kinder rin, or sa LM, kasi ako rin nagtuturo ako ngayon ng K to 7. Pag younger kids talaga, kailangan talaga laging nagre-remind, okay, line up, put your hands, keep your hands to yourself, we're not touching others. Parang ganun, kasi ang kukulit talaga nila eh. So, halos every minute, may reminder talaga. Tapos sa LM, effective sa akin yung counting. Like, let's count to 10. To line up, 10, 9, 8, 7. Tapos magka-count silang lahat. Give me 2 if you're ready to listen. Touch your nose if you're ready to listen. Touch your ears if you're ready to listen. Nakukuha mo yung attention nila pag ganun. Ready na sila makinig. Sa mga middle schoolers naman, 6 to 8 at high school, ayaw na nila yung napapahiya sila sa klase. So, pag nagturo ka talaga sa Amerika, hindi ka pwedeng magalit. Kasi, lumalayo yung relasyon mo sa kanila. Huwag mo sila ipahiya in public. firm, pero hindi yung sinisigawan. Parang ganun, hindi pwede yun. So, kailangan, Madison, what are we expected to do in class? Ganun lang. Firm pero kalmado, hindi yung sumisigaw. Kasi pag sumisigaw ka na sa estudyante, wala na. You lost it. Wala na talaga. Kasi, yung mga estudyante, gustong-gusto nila na galitin ka din. Lalo na yung mga middle schoolers. So, para bang, pag kinagat mo yung bait, wala na. Forever na yan. I mean, at the end, sa first weeks of the class pa lang, kailangan talaga na ikaw yung masunod, tapos later on pwede ka nang lumuwag na yung mo, kasi sila, pag bago ka, gusto ko lang i-test talaga, hahanapan ka talaga nila ng mo, yung patience mo, i-test talaga nila. Tapos at the end of school year, close na kayo, parang ganun. So, just show them that you care for them and you love them, and you're always there to support them, no? Yun lang talaga yung importante. And then sa classroom management, yung respect agreements, bell work, and then bell to bell. Hindi pwedeng maubusan ng activities talaga. Kahit let's say 50 minutes lang yan, hindi pwede kang maubusan ng activity para hindi magulo yung klase. Yun lang. And then it's different kasi sa ibang schools eh. Depende sa school yan kung ano yung pag-handle nila. Usually here, pag kaya mo naman i-manage, kung pwede pong pakiusapan or pag-usapan yung nangyayari, na example, may nag-away o pwede mo silang pag-usapan muna sa classroom, tapos saka mo na isusulat, ipapasa sa admin, especially if super gulo na, or kung may dugo, yun, kailangan mo talaga tawagin yung admin pag ganun. Kung may naman, verbal lang na bullying, kung pwede mo pa ayusin sa loob ng classroom, ayusin mo. Tapos pag sobra na talaga, then that's the time na magpapasa ka na ng written para ma-remind yung bata yung dapat niyang gawin sa classroom. So yun lang guys, it's really a challenge, but also it helps you grow as a teacher, Marami na akong natutunan in a year of teaching here. Kailangan mo talagang mag-adjust. Huwag kang mag-rely dun sa Pilipinas na kahit ilang years ka nagturo sa Pilipinas. Iba rin pag nagturo ka na sa USA. You have to start from the bottom and learn. And be open-minded lang kung ano yung characteristic ng mga bata dito. Kasi iba talaga sila sa atin eh. Sa atin, iba pag nakaganon ka na, tahimik na sila. Dito hindi mo yan magagamit. Wala yung kwenta dito. So just watch more videos, and then go to teachers, pay teachers. May mga worksheets sila na free. And then Canva for your PowerPoint. Yun, mga malaking tulong din yun. So yun lang guys. Thank you for watching my video, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope I was able to help you guys, and then God bless sa inyong journey sa pag-apply as a teacher. Bye everyone. See ya.